All right, so there was a couple changes on the War Within Alpha. The main changes were basically to Arcane, right? So all this other kind of stuff is a little, I mean, I'm sure they matter, but I think what I'm really worried about here is just like an actual rework to Arcane again. There's a bunch of new talents. Like there's actually, it says new talent, not like changed talents. Like these are all actually just new abilities. Energized Familiar during Time Warp. I'm assuming that also means in a Time Warp proc. Your Familiar fires 4 bolts instead of 1. Damage from your Familiar has a small chance to grant you up to 2% of your maximum mana. Yeah, I mean, Arcane Familiar shoots a bolt, does 100 damage. Now it does 400. It's only during Time Warp 2. So, yeah, Eureka! When a spell consumes clear casting, its damage is increased by 25%. So basically just missiles. Whenever you missiles, 25% more damage. Wizened Wit. The cast time of Arcane Blast is reduced by 10%. Choice node with Palm. That's interesting. So I think this like opens up Arcane to being more of like a turret. Like you have an option to go a turret build. Like let's say for example, you fight Ret Warrior or something, and they're gonna just train your other guy or your healer the whole time, and you just want to be able to sit there and just beam people. Might make Arcane a little bit stronger in double caster comps, where I feel like Arcane was never really like a real option. Arcane Battery, this is basically our 2 set, so now it's just a talent. So we're keeping our tier set bonus. Every time you consume clear casting, you just gain spell power. Time Loop, that one sounds cool. That one sounds cool. I like abilities that sound like that, but it might, let's see. When you gain a stack of Arcane Battery, you have a small chance to gain another stack of Arcane Battery. Ether Attunement. While at max stacks of Arcane Battery, your next missiles consumes Arcane Battery, dealing 150% increased, and then also fires up to 4 nearby. So that's our current 4 set. I really like that the 4 set's staying because I find this current 4 set to be very fun. Lay Sight, Nether Precision, which is an Arcane Blast damage modifier. Every time you consume clear casting, you get Nether Precision. Increase your next 2 Arcane Blast by 20%. Now it's 30%. All right, Lay Drinker. Every 6 times you consume Nether Precision. So, wow. So basically what that means is whenever you consume a clear casting, you get 2 stacks of Nether Precision. So you have to consume 3 clear castings and cast 2 blasts. So I feel like this is going to be a proc that you don't have often. Your next blast echoes, repeating its damage at 50% effectiveness to the primary target and up to 2 nearby. Oh, okay. So this kind of reminds me of the 4 set. It's just for blast. That's cool, actually. I fuck with that. New talent, Imp, Touch of the Magi. Your Touch of the Magi now accumulates 25% of the damage you deal. It was 20%, now it's 25. I already feel like the damage at the end of the Magi wasn't like that crazy, so an extra 5%, yeah, I don't know. Magi Spark. Your Touch of the Magi now also conjures a spark, increasing the damage your target receives from your next barrage, blast, or missiles by 25%. So that sounds like Radiant Spark. Upon receiving the damage from all 3 spells, the spark explodes, dealing arcane damage to all nearby enemies. Choice node with Imp, Improved Touch. Okay, so yeah, you'll go that one then. So whenever you Magi, your first barrage, blast, and missiles do 25% more. And then once you do all 3 of them, the spark explodes. That's cool. I mean, it just depends on how much damage the explosion does, I think, on whether this is something that's like super cool or just like a minor kind of, hey, you know, that's pretty cool. Nether Munitions. When Magi's Spark or Improved Touch of the Magi, so basically this one. When Magi's Spark detonates, it increases the damage all affected targets take from you by 8%. Oh, okay, yeah, so you want to detonate that ASAP. Arcane Missiles has been redesigned. Can now only be cast when you have a clear casting. The wording of the talents that are associated with missiles have been updated to reflect this change. So you can't press missiles unless you have a clear casting, which, to be fair, you kind of already do that now. Nether Precision has been redesigned. Consuming clear casting increases the damage of your next 2 Arcane Blasts by 20%, or your next 2 Arcane Barrages. So the only change here is that this used to just be this, and now it includes Barrage as well. Familiar has been redesigned. Casting Arcane Intelligence also summons a familiar. What is Arcane Intelligence? Do they mean Arcane Intellect? I think that means your buff. Also summons a familiar that attacks your enemies and increases your mana. Illuminated Thoughts has been redesigned. Clear casting has a 5% chance to trigger, and spells that consume clear casting deal 5% more. Okay. Free increased RNG. Concentration has been redesigned. Okay, so concentration used to be kind of buggy. It would make your next clear casting not consume it. So if you had one clear casting and you had a concentration proc, you would spend it, but it wouldn't spend that clear casting. And it was so buggy because sometimes it wouldn't give you precision, sometimes you couldn't cast it while moving. But now it's casting Arcane Blast has a small chance to make your next cast of Arcane Blast free, which still sounds bad because on Arcane you want to be spending mana so you can get clear castings. And it's like, okay, it's free now, but that like hurts you. Hopefully it's not in a place that you have to take it. Imp barrier is now baseline. Okay, that kind of like reverts the nerf they just made to it, so we take those. So they changed the tree, they removed harmonic echo, which was radiant spark, like a extension of radiant spark. Cascading power, mana gem, reverberate, tempest, and foresight. And then briefly I want to kind of look at this frost one because I saw something that was interesting to me. While Veins is active, damaging an enemy with frostbolt increases. Okay, wait, that's literally just slick ice, but without the cast time increase. Oh, while Icy Veins is active, your frostbolts hit 2 additional targets. So when Veins is active, your frostbolts will hit 3 targets. Guaranteed. This used to be like a % chance. If frostbolt build is good, then that's OP into cleave. And now we can actually look at the talent trees. So missiles is baseline, then we have orb, we have nether precision, we have clear casting, which is down here now. So we have tempo on the right side here. It used to be like over here. For reference, I'm gonna pull up the old arcane tree here so we can look. So this is what it looks like now. We have like tempo over here, you know, all these, that's been removed, that's been removed, these have been removed, this has been removed, like a bunch of this stuff has been removed and stuff. So we look at it here, kind of looks the same, similar-ish, but we'll see. So we got surge here, concentrated power, missiles channel 20% faster. We obviously want that. Charge orb, we want that. Crackling is good because it's free damage. Improved missiles is good, free damage. When a spell consumes clear casting, it's 20. Yeah, that's like basically just a 25% missiles increase. Amplification, we want that as well. Arcane cleave, it's a good talent we've always taken. On Arcane Bombardment, that's our execute barrage. We used to not take this talent, so we're gonna pass it for now. Chrono Shift, we want that. Slipstream allows us to cast while moving. Magi, obviously we need that. Impetus, we typically don't take that, but we'll leave it open for now. And then let's see here. So we have to take either rule of threes, which doesn't do anything because again, we don't want talents that are going to reduce mana costs. We want to be spending as much mana as possible on an Arcane Mage, but we have to pick that, or we pick familiar, which remember, both of these talents are bad. So looks like we're going to be playing Arcane Familiar baseline. Wow, because we need to pick up these. We need to pick up Palm or Wizened. I'll pick this one for now just because it's new and I could see it actually being good. And then during Time Warp, your familiar fires 4 bolts instead of 1. Maybe when the War Within comes out, guys, they're gonna like there's gonna be a patch note and it's like Arcane Familiar's damage is increased by 1600% or something like that. And then it might do something. All right, well, we can continue down the tree. We have Arcane Battery, and then that's a 2-point node. And then we can pick up this one, which is our 4-set renamed. And that leads us to Harmony. We won't go down Evo because we've never done that either. We have 5 more points apparently. So let's think about this. Oh. So Magi's Spark is the one you'll take here. And then what is this? Whenever your Spark... Oh yeah, you want that. You want Echo probably. But then you only have 2 more here. And it's like you kind of want... It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Because this is a 2-point node. You have to take that. And then it's like you want Resonance, and you want Orb Barrage, and you want Leysight, and you want that one. And you need Enlightened. Don't want Concentration. It looks like maybe you don't take Echo. Yeah, Seavorks had a good point. Echo is bad because no Tempest. You definitely want to get Enlightened, I believe. But then it's like, let's see. You definitely want that for sure. Is there anything expendable here? Like tempo maybe? Oh, it's maybe a no tempo angle. Depends. And then you pick up Leysight. And then this will be like the Arcane Blast build, I think, where you play the cast time reduce thing, and then you go with this, the Lay Drinker. Because I feel like this talent is nice, but it's kind of hard to get value out of. Oh, wait. Maybe this talent isn't nice. It's only 25% effectiveness. Yeah, I'm not convinced this is good, actually. Yeah, I don't know. This seems really hard to navigate. I definitely don't like this arcane tree more than the other one. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, there's no expendable points, I don't think. Maybe Harmony. I'm trying to get to or Barrage, and I can't. Oh, wait, is this... Can you drop this? No, you can't. Let's force it. Ooh, this is tough. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to figure this out when it comes out. Seavarks is linking me some builds here. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this talent either. And then this is like no palm, no familiar, which I feel like you might do that, right? Because it's just more damage to go down this side of the tree, which is obviously unfortunate because palm is nice. And you want, yeah, you want these. No enlightenment kind of sucks, but like, what do you do, right? Like, what are you gonna do? And then what is it? This is your other tree, and this is like a less of a blast build. It looks like. Could see that. Yeah, could see that. I don't know. It feels like you have to leave so much on the table. It feels bad. It almost feels bad to pick any of these. Like, there's no talent. There's no talents that I feel good about picking, you know? Yeah, the tree definitely needs some work. I think so too. Hopefully they revert some points or whatever. Maybe you like put Prodigious to like a 1-point node and then move Familiar. Maybe make Familiar like a choice node with rule of threes or something.